Welcome to the Worldwide Reds. We're back again. We are back again. We've had midweek blow-ups after the game on the weekend, but we've all calmed down and we're thinking to ourselves, what can we do midweek? Well, of course, bring us back to collecting. We love collecting all the tips and tricks all in one area, live to you on YouTube. And we're going to throw them out to you. Over the past few weeks, we've been doing this every Wednesday, and we always get some good feedback. And everyone wants to know where we get our memorabilia from, or our little toys that I collect and stuff like that. So we're going to go all out tonight and give you all the little tips and tricks that I use and Jordan uses. And so I hope you all sit back. You got some popcorn and enjoy the show. How are you, Jordan? How's your day been?
I'm good. Yeah, good day at work, just always busy. So, good day. How's yours?
Yeah, mate, throwing Gibrock all day on rake ceilings.
Living the dream.
Yeah, living the dream. Evening, Tom. How are you, buddy? Always supports us. He's a good man, Tom. Yeah. So I just went throwing some board up. It's been, 27 degrees today, sweating it out. Drank heaps of water, but yeah, been looking forward to this pod. As you know, I do love a collecting pod, and I love giving everyone my tips and tricks and stuff like that. And there's many that I do have. And
yes, there is.
Write a book. Yeah, I could actually write a book on how I get around these bargains and stuff like that. I really enjoy it. I thrive on it, to be honest with you. But it does take a lot of commitment to the hobby, let me tell you.
And you got to have a patient at work. I'm just got to go type an email. I'm actually scrolling on eBay. I hope none of them say that.
So the first topic I want to get into tonight really is I want to get into jerseys. So jerseys, everyone knows I've got a mad collection of jerseys. They're just here right next to me, all there. Jordan's huge collector of jerseys as well. Jordan's got a lot more than me because I only just collect Manchester United, and Jordan collects every. And you collect jerseys, ones that you like, love, player. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty big on it has to have a special meaning to a season, if that makes sense. So, for example, one I've got picked up probably a couple of months ago was like Harry Kane's debut season for Bayern Munich. I don't go for Bayern Munich, but I just thought it's another jersey to pick up. I look back at one day and go, oh, that was Harry Kane's first season in the Bundesliga. Then you've got other ones where it's like PSG won the Champions League last year. Ousmane Dembele just won the Ballon d'Or. Pick up that jersey. Just one of those little things, but I never pick them up when they first come out. I wait till the end of the season, so there's always deals on them, things like that. And you can pick up them 75% cheaper, to be honest, if you wait.
Yeah, right.
I collect a lot of jerseys.
How do you go about finding? Because you do get match worn jerseys. You do get player issue jerseys. You get jerseys that are match prepared as well. I don't so much get into that. I do like now the fact that they bring in that you can buy the player issue jersey. They call them the authentic jerseys these days. I don't like buying the supporter jersey. I just How do you go about getting those jerseys?
Well, big place now that I tend to pretty much go through for anything modern is matchwornshirts.com. They're pretty much the biggest franchise and selling place for match-worn shirts. Pretty much even if you go to an A-League game now and you ask a player for their shirt after the game, they'll turn around and say, we can't because it's going to match-worn shirts auction. Money goes to charity. So it's pretty much just a cycle now where everyone goes through. For the older stuff, you got to be very careful. A lot of people like to say they photo match jerseys and stuff back to being match worn. But to me, I struggle to believe that when it comes to bits of dirt on a jersey. Like, who's to say they haven't got a photo, then grabbed a jersey and then put a bit of dirt in the same spot? Some things can be faked. A lot of the older stuff, if it's match worn and given out to someone, there'll be a photo of the person with the player after the game holding the shirt. There'll be a video of someone throwing a shirt to someone in the crowd, them catching it, and you'll see it. Or there'll be even the odd occasion, it'll come from the club. So I've got a couple of, most of mine probably come from the club itself with like a certificate from the actual club saying it's been match worn in this game. They'll identify the game. Some of the non-league, shouldn't say non-league, some of the lower league English ones I've got, like from the English League 1 and English League 2. Most of them have been worn more than once. So you can see a bit of wear and tear on them. And
That's a great idea. I've never ever thought about going to the lower leagues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I do follow Altrincham. That's where my family was from.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
It's a very good way to get into the match worn shirts at a lower price. Because, for example, right, I've got. Let's grab this one. So this is my AC Milan Kaká. This is match prepared. So this was actually in the dressing shed for him for a Serie A match against Bologna, I believe, in 2012. I've got a certificate somewhere in my folders up there. That one's from the club. That one's obviously more on the expensive side of things. But then I've got other ones like a Bolton Wanderers match-worn jersey from David Ngog, who actually ended up playing for Liverpool one day. That one was a cheap one that I picked up from a Bolton collector in the UK. He collects just Bolton match-worn jerseys, and you can pick up a deal or two when you go through people that have. One thing I'd always say is make sure they've got feedback on their pages, or they've got people you can speak to, and they've got a following on their collection. A lot of the lower league teams, but they're very cheap to actually get the match-worn shirts. You'll nearly pay the same price for a match-worn shirt as you will for the new authentic modern shirts.
Is there anything in the jersey that you got to look for? Like once it arrives, once the jersey arrives at your house, even though you got a certificate that's set.
Yeah, a lot of them. You try and get, if you're getting a match worn, I try and get unwashed ones. There is the two different styles. There's obviously washed after the game, then auctioned off, and then there's the ones that aren't washed. You can tell straight away. But inside the jersey, as you'd know as well, there's all the breathing holes, different materials. But the big thing is on the tag. On the bigger clubs, instead of having small, medium, larges, they have a number. Okay. That number is a jersey size to each player. So there was actually a Scott McTominay one that popped up about 6 months ago or something, which I was interested in. And it had the number 7 on the back in the collar at the top there, instead of having like a large or a medium. And that was obviously his size to his jersey with the number. I don't know what the numbers exactly mean and represent in terms of sizes, but that's a way to tell that it was at least match prepared.
Right.
It's been sheds with him.
I know back in 2002, 2003, that Nike, I think they were Nike then. Yeah, these ones here.
Yeah.
These jerseys here. I know these jerseys here used to have the inner lining for the players, and down the sides, even though these ones have got the air down, what do you call them? Air pockets, breathing pockets, all down the side. They used to have more in the players' jerseys, didn't they?
Yeah. It was almost like a double layer, wasn't it? It was like a double layer shirt.
Double layer inside. Like, even though this is double layer inside, this one I think is actually looks like this one's been cut out. I don't even know. There are, I think the black one's got the double layer in it. Yeah. What do you call it? I remember Diego Forlan once. He scored a goal and he took his jersey off and then he struggled to put it back on. And then they wanted to cut the inside out or something like that. So I think from that season on, they started making them without that. You
can feel it in the material, because I've got some modern match worns and I've got some modern authentic jerseys. And as much as they say it's the player version, it's just a little bit different. The ones that are actually match prepared for the players, it just feels that little bit more premium, bit more lighter. It doesn't feel like it stick to you as much if you sweat in it. But then you also see the players running around and you go, that shirt looks sticky.
Yeah.
But
no, I was just going to say, so when you're looking for these jerseys, is it like you go, I want that Bolton one, or I want that AC Milan one, or are you just searching on eBay, or do
Yeah,
you go
so
straight onto that
eBay,
memorabilia site, or
yeah, so there's pretty much now if I want something modern. So for example, this I obviously go for Sydney FC in the A League. So this is a match worn Sydney FC jersey from this season for the Unity round. Match worn by Leo Senna. Absolutely stinks this. That's why it's in plastic. And I also like to keep all my match worn stuff in plastic. But that's come straight from matchwornshirts.com because all, as I said before, all modern shirts get auctioned off on that
Yep.
website. One thing to be very careful about with that website is what you think you're paying, add about another $100 on top of what it is for all the fees and stuff hidden inside of it. So, for
Yeah,
example,
right.
if you think that jersey it went for say $250 or $350, make sure you've got $450 or $350, $100 more because you get hit with like $40 postage, I believe it is, even though it's already in Australia. Then there's about $70 worth of fees on top that
Right.
they don't have in the actual value of when you're bidding on them. But one way I find a lot of collectors actually is I found the Bolton one, for example, I found on Instagram. So I just in my search bar put in match worn shirts. I was just having to scroll at some accounts. There's millions on there, and there's so many ones of just people collecting certain clubs. And when you find like the niche ones like Bolton, there's a guy that does Norwich actually, and he's got something like 200 or something. He's nearly like going viral on TikTok with it. He's got some
Yeah.
incredible match worn jerseys. And like
Yeah.
speaking to people, like if you message him, he will respond. I've spoken to him multiple times about jerseys, just asking for like what they think about it. Do they think it could be match worn? Do they think it could be match prepared? Blah, blah. And these people always help you. But the ones like the Bolton is, I found the guy on Instagram. He put up a post saying he was looking to clear out one or two jerseys to fund a bigger purchase. I messaged him what he had available, saying that one. I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind adding that to the collection. Just he gave me this background story on how he obtained it, which is massive in collecting. I think it's how people attain one, like
Yep.
even autographs, jerseys, things like
Beautiful.
that. And then another big one is eBay's massive for match worn shirts, but it's also massive for people to say something's match worn and it's not.
Yeah.
So you've got to be very careful. It's got to come with a certificate from the club. There's got to be photo proof of the person with the player. Like, it's very rare these days that someone that's at a game, a player will throw the jersey into the stands and that jersey will then be listed on eBay like in a week's time or something. Normally that person would keep the
Yeah.
jersey.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
something to remember the game by.
I got a question here from Elliot.
Yep.
Let me just bring it up here. So I got what do you like about authentic jerseys, Adam? And what's the difference between that and a supporter jersey? Okay, so authentic jerseys. I'll talk about supporter jerseys first. So supporter jerseys obviously have always been around, and they I think they stopped making them probably. Oh, they kept making them, but they started bringing the authentic jersey in maybe 5 years ago. They started
Yeah.
bringing the authentic in. Yeah, probably
Yep.
about 5 years ago. There's a lot of difference. In my opinion, there's a lot of difference. Look, you can't have a player obviously wearing a supporter jersey. Actually, David De Gea was wearing the supporter jersey, the goalkeeping kit. He didn't like the feel of the other one, but he wore he used to wear the fans version of the goalkeeping jersey. But the detail for me, the detail in a authentic jersey compared to a supporter jersey, the material's different. You'll see little finer details or patterns in
Yep.
an authentic jersey compared to a supporter's jersey. The feel, you're basically wearing the jersey from the player. I have
Yeah.
noticed this year the sizing for the players has gone to small, medium, large, extra large. I've noticed that this year instead of the number system. The material's a little bit thicker in the supporters' jersey because people tend to wear them a lot more. I did have
all the badge, the brand that's made the jersey, the patches on the side and that, everything's heat pressed on on a authentic jersey, whereas on
Yeah.
a supported jersey, everything's stitched on.
Yeah.
That's obviously because when they play with the jersey on, they have everything heat pressed as well. They don't get rashes or anything from the stitching. No one gets itchy or shit like that. So everything's just heat pressed on. That's one of the big things that will tell you if it's pretty much an authentic or a supported jersey.
So I've got actually two here. I was just having a look at my kits. I've actually got a supporter version here from the 2018-19 season. So you can actually see the badge is a lot thicker. There's no detail, little bit of line detail in the supporter jersey here. And then that's about it. There's nothing on the inside. There's a little bit of a pattern going on in here. And then the back is just very plain. And then the supporter jersey, the authentic jersey, you can see the heat press in here.
Yeah.
And then the actual material here is a lot lighter. And there's actually a dotted pattern straight through the jersey. Very light material. There'll be, and you can see on the inside, it's still that dotted pattern. It's totally different color to the inside. There's just the detailing you can actually see it's climate chill up in the top there. This one is actually just standard material. And for those of you that don't know, if you wanted to quickly know whether it's authentic or a supporter's jersey, this is the tag here. The tag inside the jersey. That tells you if it's an authentic or if it's a fake, or if it's, because once you put that into the computer or into your Google or whatever, then it's you'll find out. But most people, like a lot of the questions I get too, are like similar to what Tom's come to me with here, and we've spoken about this for years. And I did find out. I actually messaged David May about it. Did we ever get an answer if players' version of reversible centenary kit was actually both gold and the white, or two different kits? So the centenary jersey, if anyone doesn't know, I do have it here somewhere. I do have it here somewhere. The players did not have a double layer kit. David May actually got back to me. Maisie's bit of a space cadet sometimes, and he actually said, I don't think so. I think it was just gold. And then I found out from other people as well. So
no, they wouldn't have been able to play with a double-sided jersey. It would have been too heavy when it gets wet.
Yeah. I don't even know where that is. It might be
another a bit of info for the match prepared / authentics compared to like the fan versions is in the Adidas. It'll have instead of Climacool, it'll have I think it's called Aero Ready. And then on the older ones, it'll have 4Motion written. This is all written on so I've got just an authentic Lionel Messi World Cup winners jersey, and down the bottom here, just for example, it has Aero Ready. That is on all the modern Adidas stuff, all on the probably 2012. In that corner, it'll have 4Motion written there, which means it was a player issue jersey, because only player issue stuff back then had 4Motion written on it.
Yeah. So this is the jersey Tom was talking about. So you got the white there. This one's skulls.
God,
and on the inside, you've got the Vodafone. Mate, I don't even think I've ever worn it because it's that thick. So I couldn't imagine the players wearing it. And you never ever, you will actually see the single layers online. So they're all fake. They're all fake. Like you're not picking one up unless it's a player issue or player worn. So they're all doubles. I want to get into where we get the bargains from, right? So most people know me. I don't like paying full price for jerseys. I really like looking for that bargain. I just think it's part of collecting. Yeah. Don't pay full price. I'm not one to sell stuff either. I also, actually, one tip I'll give you. So everyone loves getting a jersey signed. Be careful. be careful because sometimes I think it can devalue a jersey, especially these days. So as much as I like Captain Marvel, Brian Robson, I had a 1992 home jersey. I'll bring it up. I had this jersey, and so actually got two of these, but I've got one signed by Brian Robson. And when I got it signed, I used to love wearing the jersey. I used to love wearing it all the time. And I got it signed at a function I was at, and I got back home, and probably about a year later, I was thinking to myself, geez, I'd love to wear that jersey. And everyone knows this jersey went through the roof. You're paying nearly $350 for this jersey now. So one tip I've always been told, well, I've also not so much been told, but brought to myself, is be patient. About a month ago, and I got that signed probably 2013. I got it signed by Brian Robson. So it's been a long time since I've been able to find this jersey at a bargain price. I actually bought this one probably about 2 months ago for $50. For $50. All right.
Mental.
It is mental. But, you're patient. The amount of times I did go to buy one at a higher price and I've just gone, nah, just stick with it. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. I actually found one for $50. So they are there. You just got to be very, very patient. Otherwise, you're just going to play through the roof. And if you decide to sell it, you may sell it for unders. You know what I mean?
Well, I paid 180 or 190 for my one. So
yeah, that's
get it $130 cheaper.
Yeah. I've got one here. I've got a question from Season in Red. A question to you both. What's the best piece of advice you were given about collecting when you first started out? Oh, look, when I first started out, I haven't really been given advice. I started collecting different types of memorabilia. I always collected sports memorabilia. I was always at functions that I was at. When I was younger, because eBay wasn't sort of a source to get things, or social media back in the 90s and stuff like that, I was always dependent on my uncle to go back to Old Trafford and get me stuff then. So most of the stuff that I've now got in this cave, it brings me back to my childhood, to the things that I really, really wanted, and now I can afford to get them. So, but advice to myself that I always give is always wait and always look for a bargain. Always try and be social with people. Always join groups. My first piece of memorabilia was a postcard. I can lift that up. It's actually on a frame just behind me up there. That was my first piece of memorabilia. It wouldn't have made it back to Australia these days, because it's got like David Beckham as an apprentice on there. It's got Sir Alex Ferguson's autograph on there. It's got Steve Bruce. It's got a fair few of them. Paul Parker. They were all at a function in Malta, and he was at that function. But yeah, they're the bits of advice I can give you. And look, for me, I never go a day without being on eBay. And as much as people say to me, you're crazy, it's literally a 5-second look. And I always, whenever I'm watching a game or a late game, like game from the 90s, even the 80s, 70s, whatever, I might go far out. I might like that program. I'd love it. So then I start going searching. Jordan, what's the best advice you have?
Well, go on. You just said is obviously be patient with things. Like, you're not going to have the most crazy collection overnight. And my big thing is don't compare your collection to other people's. Collect what you want, when you want, and spend what you can. Don't ever sit there and go, well, so-and-so's got this, I better go and buy it as well. I've done that a few times with what Adam's had, just seeing what he's got, and I'm like, shit, I got to go buy that. And when you actually build up, like, if you say you set yourself your budget, and then you find what you want and you buy it, it's so much more rewarding to see that item come in the post than it is just to be that day just to go and buy it. Like, actually, like, don't ever judge like compare your collection to someone else's. I think.
Yeah,
Like,
never.
I've
Never
got some
compare.
real stuff, but there's some people that I know, like Stuart, for example, in Sydney. I don't know if he's watching, but I always talk to him. He's got some incredibly cool signed stuff. And I always think, like, we all collect what we want. We all have different reasons why we collect what we want. Like Adam only collects Manchester United, which is amazing. I collect, as you can see behind me, everything in football.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just
a big thing, Jordan. That's a big thing. Like people always come into my cave and they always say to me, "Oh, wish I had that," or "Wish I had that." Your cave's so good, and I always turn around to them. I say, "The items that you've got in your house, are they special to you?" And they first thing they go is yes. I said, "Well, that's all you need to worry about.
Yeah.
Are they special to you?" And that's what collecting's about. You might have a favorite player. Like my favorite player is David Beckham and Brian McClare. I love both those. Fortunate enough, I've met Brian McClare. I've had Brian McClare in this cave as well. It's mind blowing. But whatever's special to you, that's all it really matters. That's it. It doesn't matter. As you get older and you can afford more, then you go get it. I'm 50,
Exactly.
so I can go and buy a bit more than a lot of the younger people. I always say to younger people, don't go above your budget, because then all you're going to do is get it and then sell it. And then 10 years, 15 years down the track, you're going to see that item go through the roof and you're going to regret it. So make sure.
Never be satisfied doing that either. If you're always like blowing your budget, buying everything all at once and you build up this collection. Like I've got, what did we say, 380 something jerseys. I've been collecting since I was 6 years old. My mum used to buy me like a large jersey of every year that I'd want, and then she'd buy me this one in my size as like a fake one to run around in, like a replica. She'd run around and we just kept putting them all aside, and that's how I'm 27 now, so 21 years I've had both myself and my mum buying me jerseys, which I was very fortunate. She's a massive football fan as well. But one of my most prized items I have is a photo of me and her next to a Premier League trophy when Manchester United came to Australia. It's not a photo with a player. It's not signed anything. Just a photo of me and her next to the Premier League trophy, because that's who brought me into the sport, who made me support Manchester United, who made me collect all this, be around it all. And that's one of the items that I just go, that's irreplaceable to me.
That's it. It's always the little things. Like I've got, like people walk in here, I've got a cabinet with Corinthian dolls and stuff like that. I've got this. So this little set here.
It's so cool, man.
Yeah, that's it. Like little things like this mean a lot to me. I love it. It's from 1996. A lot of the class of 92 were coming through at that stage and things like that. I literally picked this set here for, I think, $10. I think it was $10. I bought it from the UK. Big tip for people that want to collect. Get on UK eBay, but have a source that you know someone over there. If you know someone in the UK, I'm fortunate enough, I've got some good connections in the UK. I can send things to their house, because having one item sent to you from the UK to Australia costs a fortune.
Costs more than the item.
It costs more than the item. But if you can build up a fair few things at somebody's house that they don't mind collecting for you and leaving on the side, and then once you get to a stage where you think, yep, that's enough, get them to bulk send it, and it's a lot cheaper. Generally, when you're buying off UK and sending within UK, it's a couple of quid. That's all it is. Or a lot of the times it's free. Whereas if you're getting the item sent to you from the UK to Australia, it's always costing you nearly $30, $35. Even just for a slabbed card, it costs you $30. So when I'm looking for items in the UK eBay, generally, first thing I do is actually look in Australia. First thing I do, because you do have UK sellers. When it comes to cards and things like that, sometimes you do find the odd person that will send the card at a good price, like $8, $12 or something like that. Jerseys are another thing. Like jerseys is going to cost you a fair bit. Same with programs. Programs are heavier. So I always look for the light items or things like that. In Australia, you do find the bargains. You do find them on Facebook Marketplace or football kits and clothing on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook on some of these groups, you're missing out. You really are. You're missing out.
They're great for
Football House
networking groups. They're very, very good
football.
for networking.
Yeah, Football House, PFC. These guys are very good for jerseys. Like Jordan just said there, for networking, you get to talk to people off the main page when you're bargaining. Always bargain. People always go in and they set their prices higher, which is understandable because if they can get a better price for it, they're going to get it. But one thing with me, there's no way I'm paying that price. Always knock them down. Always sometimes underguard them. Low ball them, as they say, and then meet in the middle. It's no different to a proper auction.
The worst they're going to say is no. So the worst you're going to get is no.
That's it. So for mine, it's like I've showed Jordan just before this. I've got this here. This is Brian McClare's when he was one of the scouts at Manchester United in 2002-03. I just happened to be scrolling along. I may have typed in Brian McClare. Next minute, I found a guy that had a heap of stuff from an op shop. So I got talking to him. And said, where'd you get the items from? He explained to me he got them from an op shop in the UK. And he told me the op shop, everything like that. I got that before COVID, so everything went nuts before COVID. And what do you call it? He explained everything to me. I think I literally paid $20 for it. It was insane. $20. Like, it's crazy. For jerseys, just look around. Don't go and buy the first one, especially the ones in the 90s, 80s ones. One thing you have to realize with the 80s kits, they're a lot smaller than they were in the 90s. So you can get ones like, they might say large, but they shrunk a lot better. They shrunk a lot as well. So, but they go for big prices as well. I've got a couple here from the 70s as well. But you do find them. You've just got to, look, they're not going to just pop up. You got to be patient. I think that's the best I can give you.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Networking is my big thing. I just think if the more people you speak to, if you don't have people that you know from other countries, jump in group chat, start messaging. Don't be scared. Like, I've got people all around Europe that collect match-worn jerseys that I can buy, swap, sell stuff with that I've literally just met through looking to buy jerseys. That's all it is. I've never even met these people really, but I speak to them nearly every week. We show each other what we've picked up and things like that, and it's a good way to, get out there and be involved in the hobby a bit more.
Yeah, I've got one here from Stuart Fraser. Can always get a good bargain off Vinted. I've never really used it. Is that for jerseys, Jordan? You'd know more about that.
That's massive over in Europe. That's really good. Stuart's actually got an incredible collection too, by the way. Incredible collection.
So Vinted is a so you can only ship within
Depop.
Europe.
Yeah, so it's Depop, but it's pretty much Depop in Europe, I believe, but it's just filled with jerseys, like just filled. And if you can get a spot in Europe where you can get, like, it's massive in England, for example, if you can get someone in England that you can scroll and pick out what you want and get it shipped there and they can ship it to you, you can pick up jerseys for like I'm pretty sure the other day I was having a scroll and Manchester United's jersey from 2022, I believe it was, the last year of Ronaldo. Authentic kit was up for £17.
Yeah, right. Authentic.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Yeah,
that's nuts.
That's what I mean. You can find them. I mean, that jersey there sold out twice.
Yeah.
When Ronaldo came back, so there's plenty of them around. So
yeah,
I've got another one
flooded with them. Yeah. So that's why they're so much cheaper.
I've got another one here from Susan in Red. Interesting you talk about getting stuff back from the UK. I won't ship certain stuff of mine here yet because it's just too precious. All my match day programs are back home along with signed items. So I have a lot of match day programs. Like I said, I sent them to a mate in the UK. and I always get tracking. You always get tracking, and I do. Yeah, there are guys though that will ship to Australia with programs, but you've got to watch it because they like modern day programs. If you go, I always buy if I watch a game, modern day game. I do buy a program from the UK. They usually cost you £8 to send. Usually all up, it's about $21 with the program from Reach Sport over in the UK. If you want a match day program, you enjoyed that game. It was a good comeback from United, not this season, but from previous seasons. It's usually about $20, $21, including postage from Reach Sport. And a little bit of a tip there: if it hasn't turned up within 3 weeks, hey, message them and they'll send you another one. So you might end up with 2. So that's a very good tip with programs.
You end up with 2 of them instead of the 1.
Yep.
So one of the issues I've had with Australia Post and stuff is I understand what he's saying. He's probably a bit scared and hesitant to send them because he doesn't want them to get lost. I've had what have we had? Probably combined thousands of items sent from all around the world.
Oh yeah.
In the last 6 months though, I've had 4 go missing. One of them was a 1-of-1 soccer card. It was probably going to be one of the biggest cards in my collection, and it went missing. And I got sent a photo of the package ripped open, and it was considered damaged and lost. But someone has obviously just opened the package, taken the card out, and just taken a photo of the package. That's why you buy from eBay if you're going to buy, or use PayPal if you're going to buy from overseas, because you get refunded if the item gets lost or doesn't return up delivered. But with Oz Post and stuff, I do understand him being skeptical. I sometimes am, but at the same time, I still do it and just purchase it.
Yeah.
Get tracking at least. I feel better.
Yeah, when it comes to jerseys too, you have to realize that Fanatics actually owns United Direct, and they also own Kitbag. So you'll see on United Direct that they'll have sales on and everything like that, and they're usually opposite to Kitbag. So Kitbag will have the sale one week, United Direct will have it the other week. So, and then most of the time, like even though if you're an official member, you get 10% off, which is garbage anyway. I'll usually just wait till the end of the season because you'll get 40% off.
Yeah.
But Kitbag always have good deals. Kitbag's great. Just be aware though. What do you call it? They do. If you get Express, they will send it through DHL, and then it'll swap over in Australia to what's that company that you had on the Cronulla jersey? What were they? What's that?
Amerex, is it?
Amerex. Then they'll switch to Amerex. They are the most dodgy. I'll probably get in trouble saying this, but Amerex are the worst, man. You got to watch out. Amerex have got such a. I've had 2 authentic jerseys go missing with them, and that was through Kitbag. Fortunate enough, Kitbag were able to send us another 2, and we went through the right channels to get our money back and everything like that. But just be careful. They will send with DHL, then it'll be posted by Amerex. I don't know. I still don't know how they are running. They are a disgrace.
Yeah, well, that's how I had my issues where I just said before I had the 1-of-1 go missing. That was through DHL, and it got handed to DAI Post. They've lost 2 out of the 4 parcels that have been so-called delivered to the country, and they've lost both of them in Sydney, and both of them were sent as damaged and lost. Both of them were actually opened, and the item was taken out of it. Yeah, and that was so. I would never, ever recommend posting with DHL at all. Like I would just avoid them at all costs. Because of the people they hand the parcel to when it's in the country, because you have no say over who gets it when it arrives in Australia.
Another tip I'll give you is on jerseys. Before I move into another title, because we've been going on about jerseys for 40 minutes. What do you call it? The other one I'll give you too. If you see something, a jersey, or even a little piece of memorabilia that you enjoy or like, or something like that on eBay, message the person. If no one has bid on that jersey, he can do a buy now. You can negotiate a price. You can actually, if you've got Instagram, you can actually send him a screenshot of your Instagram.
I do that every time.
Send them a screenshot, because if they're on Instagram, they can actually private message you. Do not put an email or anything like that in eBay. Do not put your email in the comment section when you private message a seller, because eBay has got tracking on that. As soon as they see an email or a social media, like if you write Facebook or Instagram or something like that, it will recognize it straight away and you could get banned. But if you put a screenshot of something, you usually generally get away with it. So you just explain to the guy, like send him your name that you use on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And sometimes you can do a private sale, because then they don't have to pay the fees for eBay. Yeah. But just remember, because they have buy now on it, doesn't mean they won't take a better price. So talk to the people. Always talk to them. But I mean, at the end of the day, always go through eBay, because that way, if something does go missing or anything like that, you get your money back. Yeah, but you can negotiate prices as long as there's no bids on it. So, like the last couple of days, I've bought like a Manchester United plate with a few players on it, and I bought a Dennis Law Corinthian that you never find anywhere. And there was no one bid on them. They were all buy now. They were up for $20 each. And I just went to the guy, just sent him a message. Would you take $10 each for them? Bang. $10. He took both of them, because people sometimes just want to clear out their collection. So, and then he'll have 2 separate postages. Write to him. Once you're on your computer, you can ask for a postage quote to combine postage, and then you get it cheaper again. Do not pay 2 separate postages from the one person. Do not do that. Generally, the items that they send can be combined and one postage. So, like one was 10 and one was 12. He just combined them both to 12. So it's $10 discounts straight away. Yeah. So they're the tips and tricks through eBay. I think I've given you just about every one of them. You can personally message us as well on those ones. I just want to move into, I'm not going to move into cards. Cards we've done before. So we've been going 42 minutes. We're only going to stay half an hour.
I would have thought it'd be me.
42 minutes. Okay, so I'm actually going to put Susan Red up again here. He said, "Don't get me started on Fanatics. They sent me a Fernandez 9 jersey last season." Well, you'd be burning that one now anyway. Authentic home kit. I've still got it, just as a ridiculous memory.
I haven't heard that one before. That's unreal.
I actually had a mate burn one the other day, so he was not impressed with Bruno. So I'm going to go into autograph hunting. So I've got some tips and tricks for autograph hunting. Jordan's sort of been my apprentice over the last couple of years. Yep. When it comes to autograph hunting. But one thing with autograph hunting, the first tip I'll give you is don't be shy. All right? Do not be shy when it comes to autograph hunting. When I say that, I mean don't be rude. Don't be rude to the player. One thing I feel that a lot of people do wrong when it comes to autograph hunting is they call the player by their last name. I hate it. I despise it. I just think it's so rude. Like, for example, we've had Juan Mata in Australia. The amount of people that go up to him and call him Mata. It's so wrong on every level, right? Cool. His name's Juan. It's no different to any other player. We had Rio Ferdinand here. You're not going to call him Ferdinand. Call him Rio. So that's like, it's just ridiculous that people do that. All right? It's nuts. Don't rush in to go get that autograph. Don't rush in. Be patient. People are running around getting their autograph, because sometimes when you wait to the end, you always get the nicer autograph. You always get a chance to have a chat to them. Yeah. Because everyone's disappeared. They're 2 very good ones. I always wait. If it looks like you're going to miss out, then go all in, right? But a lot of the time, The players will hang around. Do not listen to their managers. Do not listen to them. They're an absolute joke. They've got no idea. I've dealing with managers where they've gone, no, he's only going to sign one item. You can't have this. You can't have that. And the player will be there and the player will go, it's okay. I've done this before. Just let him go. Right? The best thing you can do with the managers is start a conversation with them because they end up disappearing. You can bore the shit out of them because all they're worried about is it's just talk to them. So that's another one. The other one is when you get to the game, when you want someone's autograph, have something ready to go. Don't like go, yep, that player's there this week. I'm going to go see him. Then all of a sudden, the day before or hours before, you're looking for an item to go get signed. Have something ready to go, everything like that. The one that I always use, and I told this to Jordan, have a kid next year. All right? That is a massive one. Have a kid next year. All right? And I don't mean be creepy or anything like that. Right? I just mean be near the child because they're always going to sign for the kid. And then you just hand the item over. You'll end up getting signed. Well, that sounds really bad, but if you're a nut job like me when it comes to autographs, I mean, the last few tours I haven't had to go get the autographs. My daughters have gone and got them. So that's an easy tip. So just have kids just so you can get autographs. Jordan?
Imagine a little makeup autographs. We're pushing them up the front. Look at this one. Look at this one.
Yeah. So, another one is find the player's hotel when you're on tours and stuff like that. Before the tour starts, everyone's like, if you're in groups like I am, when it comes to like, especially when it's overseas and stuff like that, mate, people are trying to find out where they're. I'm fortunate enough, I generally get in early where I know the hotel is. So people will ask you and ask you and ask you. And I'm sorry to tell you, if I know where the hotel is, you ain't getting the answer.
No, right? That's the other one. Right? So there's when Wrexham came to Australia a couple of months ago, Stuart, who asked a question before, he found out where the hotel Wrexham was staying at in Sydney. So one day he went and waited at the front of the hotel and got a couple of autographs. And then the next day I came down for the game. And the game was at 6, 7 o'clock at night. I came down at 9 in the morning and sat out front of their hotel for probably 3 to 4 hours. And the bus pulled up and I got the signature of every single player from that squad because I was standing there waiting for the bus. I had everything ready in front of me and they all just signed it as I was going into the hotel. Had a chat with about 3 or 4 of them and they were lovely. They were very talkative. They just wanted to be treated as like a normal person. But knowing the hotel is so crucial to getting an autograph. But not telling everybody where the hotel is also more important because the less people, the more likely you are to get an autograph.
Yeah, that is that's a key one. Like when it comes to the hotel and that, like people expect the players to come down straight away. They expect them to come down straight away or they're arriving straight away. Don't get the shits with waiting. Don't get the shits with waiting. It's silly. You're not going to – like when I was in Malaysia recently, it was one of the most disorganized tours I've ever had in my life. It was disgraceful the way the fans were all treated over there. I never got – by the end of it, the first day I was there, I just went, you know what, it's not worth hanging outside the front of the hotel. Players aren't going to sign anything, and it just wasn't worth it. But, yeah, be patient in front of the hotels and stuff like that. There was another tip. I just forgot what it was now.
For autograph hunting?
Yeah, about the autograph hunting. I can't remember what it was.
Find the exits at stadiums.
Yes, that's a good one too. Find the exits.
Find an exit for a stadium, that's your guy. Adam knows every single route on every single stadium.
Yeah.
Because you find out where the players are coming out, and they normally come out to their families and stuff, so it's normally pretty quiet. Don't go and bombard them though when they're talking to their family and stuff. Just go up, be polite, just say, "Hey, Juan, can you sign this for me?" And they'll always say yes. I've only met one person that was pissed off about signing an autograph, and after he signed the autograph for me, I nearly ripped it up in front of him because he was an absolute dick about it.
Yeah. Look, there's probably one person I'd be very nervous going up to and getting an autograph was probably Roy Keane. But so I'd have to have a massive tactic there for that one because being a grown man, maybe a few years just younger than him, yeah, I'd have a few choice words if he was rude. He'd probably be the only one I wouldn't go for. But I definitely have got I have got like the match ticket from the Juventus game where he bagged 2 goals. I think Bruno needs to watch that game and watch our captain acts when he's
training this week for him.
I have got that match ticket, and I would do anything to get him to sign that match ticket. So maybe next time at Old Trafford, that could be my my calling to go try and get that. Yeah. So yeah. So that's anyway. Surely that should be enough. That should be enough tips and tricks. We'll package this up. We're going 51 minutes. Jordan, you got anything else?
20 minutes. So much for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. We could go on forever.
No.
Really, about tips and tricks and things like that. And it's the same with cards, really. I'll give you like quick ones with cards. Is getting onto what do you call it? Getting onto the socials. I know Season in Red, he's not on Facebook, but if you want bargains, Instagram's not your place. Facebook's your place. I can send you links to very good jersey pages and on there, and you know, there's some good guys out there like the Football House, PFC. These are guys I've connected with for a long time when it comes to jerseys. I know this has become basically a jersey pod, so these are guys that have been around a long time, buying jerseys up on eBay, and you know what? They were probably the smart ones a few months ago when we got scammed because they didn't want anything to do with it. So we still look to them. We still look to them for advice. And they're all good guys. Yeah, all good guys. So start your own community up, really. Yeah. Get involved. And like Season in Red, I just met him today. And, you know, I hope he's signed up to the channel to give us 240 subs. We're slowly getting up there, and we're excited because we're putting on a pod every week and every few days. So I want to thank you, Jordan, for coming on again. You're an absolute champion. We talk to each other most days. We love collecting and
talk to each other every day.
It does. It chills us out. It really does. It's the thing. Collecting can chill you out. It is an addiction, so be careful. It is an addiction. I'm going to start a class up soon. My name is Adam. I'm a collector, and I have an addiction. Okay, so it is bad. But you know what? One day I may sell all this, and you know, it's maybe my retirement or something like that. But yeah, enjoy your collecting. Don't worry about what everyone else has got. Please don't worry about it. Like I've got little books like this, little books like that. I done swap deals and stuff like that. Like you can't find these things. You know, I basically collect everything. Actually, before I sign off, I'll give you a bargain that I got probably about 6 months ago. So there's a little bit of a story. There's a bit of a story behind this. It wasn't framed up like this. I framed it up. But if you can see, let me see if I can bring it up just a bit closer. Yeah, there we go. So I'll talk behind the picture. So I was on eBay, and it was a guy in the UK on his description. So it's always important to read their description and really recognize autographs, really know your autographs. So the first thing I did with this guy was I went up to him and I wrote to him and I said, it was in the description, I think it said, it's got Rio Ferdinand's autograph and Paul Scholes, and it said a few others. So for me, that is an alert going off in my head. That is, my alarm bells are going off. Alarm bells are going nuts. So, the first autograph I recognised on this picture was Cristiano Ronaldo's. Cristiano Ronaldo's is the forefront of this picture. And just on the left-hand side, above it, you've got Rio Ferdinand's, you've got Van der Sar's on there, you've got Paul Scholes, and you got Tevez on there as well. So the first thing I recognised was the picture wasn't signed. This was the last game of the season, remember? They lost to West Ham 1-0. And so the first thing I recognised was that it was signed the year after. So I proceeded to talk to the guy and said to him, I said, have you got any proof of the item being signed, everything like that? He came back to me and he said, I bought it from an auction. There's a lot of auction houses in the UK. And so I went, would you mind if I win this item? Would you send me the auction allotment, the company, everything like that? He goes, yeah, no worries. Not a problem. I did not mention one thing about Cristiano Ronaldo's autograph being on there. I just left it as it was. The days went past. No one was bidding on it. Sure enough, last day came. I put a £5 bid on it. I won the item. So I won the item for £5. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous to win that for £5. So, and then I went and got a whole heap of photos. I put them all together. I made it about Cristiano Ronaldo because if you have a look in the middle photo, Cristiano Ronaldo is popping the champagne and he's holding the sponsor's sign in his hand. But in the main photo, you can't actually see him because he's behind the sponsor's banner. So I made it about him and so on. And there. And they're the type of bargains that you can pick up. A £5 photo with, I think there's 8 autographs on there, including Carlos Tevez, who actually saved West Ham from getting relegated. The following season, he went to Manchester United, won the Champions League with them. So, you know, an item like that's gone from £5 to probably, I don't know, £250. So they're the kind of things that you can pick up.
That's all come from you knowing autographs. Like the amount of people that would have looked at that at eBay and gone, I don't know who signed that. I'm not going to buy it. But you've studied it and you know exactly what Ronaldo's autograph looks like. You know what Van der Sar's is. And
yeah, always check out the autographs. Always ask questions, everything like that. Anyways, one more add to the stage is like these bags. I've got like these bags in the cave. I literally paid $20-$30 for them. They are around. They're the old school bags, things like that. So, like, I don't just collect autographs. I collect like any type of bargain that's related to Manchester United. I try not to break the bank, and you can have like great little items like this. They're always around. All right. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, everyone, for being on the pod, giving us heaps of questions and things like that. Tom, again, stressing over United is the only thing I find relaxing. We'll have Tom back on the pod soon enough because we love having him on. Hated adored, never ignored. Get over to Spotify for him because he's an absolute champion. Remember, if you're in the chat and you haven't subscribed to us yet, please subscribe. We froth over it, and because that's being part of YouTube, I suppose. So I'll talk to you later. See you later.
See you later.
See you, mate.